gapped down. It's pandemonium in the streets. Trump, he might schedule a talk with China. Maybe he might tweet him. I don't know. We saw some thumbnails. We saw some headlines. We're going to break all that down. First, this is not what you think it is. Unless, of course, you thought it was a monster, then it's 1,000% what you think it is. We're getting juiced up. We're going to break some things down. Going to be a kind of a quick stream tonight, because this next week I'm going to try going live with you guys pre-market into the first 30 minutes. I'm thinking 8 to 9. Markets for me open at 8:30. And I have a lot to do tonight. Including I might sign up for the, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I see like leaderboard, stuff like that. Prop firms are I'm yelling into the mic. Prop firms are very popular. Trade with that monopoly money. I've talked a lot of crap on it. There's rules designed just so you lose, and you got to pay to sign back up. I don't know how I'm going to perform. It's a completely different style than me. I don't scalp. I trade, but I think I'm going to try it out just to see what happens this week. I don't really trade the first 30 minutes of the market open. If an alert goes off, you guys will watch me do that. But largely, everyone says live stream your trades. I would have to be here literally all day. And then eventually you would. If you want to be a part of mine and just get the alerts all the time, you can just check out the Patreon. YouTube leaderboard. Now, some X thing, Twitter thing. They take the prop firms. Who makes the most? I might follow Patrick Wieland on this, what's it called, Tradeify situation. I don't know. We'll see. Going live pre-market. That brings back the LPP days. What's up, McLovin? Google expected move. I'm going to go over that for you right now. We're going to go over all the expected moves of the big tech stuff. Right now, the dollar, the dollar actually didn't really gap down. It moved, kind of. Technically, we gapped down right there, and then we sold off. I want to check out the U.S. CAD. Is it time to add on to that or what? Ooh, I think we're breaking. I might be a little ahead. But what we're going to do is we're just going to do it anyway. And we're gonna send it. Why are we not open yet on Awanda? Nope. Better wake up. What time is it? 7. Am I an hour early on this? I'm resetting everything. Okay, there we go. For some reason, the app just was not. All right, we're gonna add on a little short. I'm actually gonna go 2 lots on this one. So we are going to go short. It's because the markets are open. So anyway, I just added 2 lots, which is 200,000 short U.S. CAD. Let's get that trend line break. Let's get that weekly zone break. Here's what we're watching out for there. Full send. Probably a little bit early, but I want that thing to melt, break down. Go to your local store and make sure you pay an extra tariff and you buy that Canadian maple syrup. That's what's important. And then we send the dollar to the dirt. We lower rates. Canada, do me a solid. Raise your rates. Like by 1,000,000 points would be sweet. Let's see. UNH. I thought you were saying has a shareholder meeting. UNH has a shareholder meeting tomorrow. First green week in a while. Maybe be a play here. I will do this one. After that, we're going to just jump straight into the stream. Right now, we might be a little oversold. Let's check the really stupid indicator. Yeah, so RSI, weekly, oversold. My alert on the RSI is actually right here. If we got that sold off, then I would go in. I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and I think a lot of people, this is actually an important chat we had in my group last week. A lot of people are eyeballing this number up here and thinking if I go from here to here, that's a double. That's a dangerous way to do things. Nothing has to go back up to that level. Granted, it's UNH, very big company. Yahoo at one point in time was also a very big company. So case in point, if you don't know who Yahoo is, that's why. You probably shouldn't invest in UNH. Again, not financial advice. You guys should see the disclaimers. Just read them. All the YouTubers have them. How many pips for a stop? 1,000,000. Whatever you feel comfortable with. That's all I can say on here. I just shorted mine, and it's probably a lot more. My stop is probably a lot wider than yours. I'm on a weekly time frame. All right, I'm also short this US dollar, Japanese yen. So maybe hopefully they do lower some rates. Nope. I need them to raise rates. Japan, get it in gear. Raise your rates. Sell this thing off. I need the US dollar. We need to lower ours. Do me solid, Japan. Help us out. Now we did bounce here. Lower high. Hit it again. Let's melt this thing off. I just tuned in and saw that chart. Thank God that's not SPY. Yeah, by the way, flash crash. Here comes another Black Monday. We're going to call this the Blacker Monday. And then we're going to rock and roll. Can you imagine that? That would be nuts. All right, Bitcoin on the up and up. Shout out to everybody that is in. So Bitcoin bouncing out of here. If you are in Beto over the weekend, they do have a 99-cent share dividend coming out. I wonder if it says, so 99 cents. We can round up to $1. You're 3/10 of a penny off. Payout is going to be this Friday, the 6th. So every share you have will pay $1. I don't think MSTY has announced theirs yet. That's usually like the 8th, I want to say, 8th or 9th. There's the 11th, 9th, the 11th, 14th. So, yeah, you might have a couple days if you want to take advantage of that. But as Bitcoin pops up, hopefully so do those like Mara as well. Got the absolute beat down. Looking for a bounce out of there. And, guys, I want to say, just so you guys know, these are the expected moves for the week. Market makers do have this level priced in. So, from the 1536 to the 1289, I'm looking for a zone bounce there. Which I sold some 14s last week. They just did not fill. I gotta be honest, I don't know if I'll sell the 14s this week or actually just buy some tomorrow morning. I guess if you're here, you will see that. I do want to add on to this, and I kind of thought last week as we were selling off, that would close $13.99 or lower, and I would just get paid to buy some. I just got paid for nothing. Free internet money. So I do want a little bit more. Am going to add to that. So hopefully that Bitcoin bounce is rocking and rolling. Sadly, I only grabbed one Bitcoin futures contract. Didn't want to risk a gap down over the weekend. Why did you teach me risk management? Listen, I don't know. And I really hate risk management. I hate having an IQ, brains, or anything during 2021. That is my biggest regret. If I could ever go back, if I could ever see the future, I would go back and tell myself, do everything stupid in 2021 because it's going to pan out. Winning lottery numbers, that's boring. Buy, hold, as margin appears, you apply it to something else, 20% up the next day. You are done. And then retire forever. Forever and ever. All right, so jumping into the S&P. So I should have went live last time when when this bounced. I didn't get 100 likes, so I didn't go live on Friday. If there is 100 likes, I go live the next day. You guys get a free Monday. But if you want me to go live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there better be a 100 likes. But should have just gone live right here because this bounce right here was perfect at a type 2. Now, we did gap down this time, so let's see if that zone's actually going to hold. I actually wouldn't be worried unless I say actually 16 more times in the same 10 seconds. But looking at that, you guys, last week I told you guys I'd sold the 583 puts. So all we did was collect. I posted that in the account, but I'll pull it up real quick. $1.19. So in options world, that's $119 per contract on the 583s. We never broke that zone. We kept the $119 per contract. Probably going to do the same. Let's see where we're at tomorrow morning. If we're already testing this zone, we just might break it. At that point, I want to wait. Maybe I'll drop it a little bit lower. But keeping an eye out there. I just want to see, is this going to be a higher low? The thing that's concerning right here is higher lows, higher highs. That higher high just did not have the aggression. Now, sometimes you get... Let's just chart this out real quick because I know what someone else is going to say. Okay, so we got some higher lows. Let's just call that the level. Sometimes you actually have this, like that kind of flat line. We're just knocking on that door. We kick it through and we send it. Some dork I already know is going to call out the wedge. Honestly, I just hate the wedge. Nothing personal. If you like it, I hate it. I mildly hate you for liking it. Nothing big. In theory, that should break down, but if it breaks up, just know the person that trades these will tell you he was right and he knew it all along anyway. I think that's why I hate it. So we'll see. What we're seeing here ultimately is not the shape itself. It's just like the red and blue ball with the yellow shapes you got when you were a toddler. That does not teach you how to trade. And what most of you guys have learned is the circle, it fits in the square spot. The rectangle fits in the square spot. There's a lot of interpretation to it. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. But seeing that momentum slow down makes me start to wonder, are we going to see something like that little candy cane action, where we start to see the momentum slow, stall, and turn around. So keeping an eye out for that. Let me just get that out of here. That'll be mostly what I'm watching out for tomorrow. And seeing ultimately if we were just stuck between these two ranges right here. I will make this one a little bit brighter. These will be the two zones that I'm focusing on this week right now. And I'll show you guys as soon as I make this one brighter. So we've played the back and forth game quite a bit inside here. Now, I actually wouldn't mind getting stuck inside here. That was great money. But also as we stay inside, it shows the bulls just get to keep their gains. Right now, we're just now testing the bulls just to see, like, hey, you still got this? You still believe in this trend? Did Jeremy tell you to believe harder? Are you investing more? Did Meet Kevin tell you there was an expiring coupon code in the next 30 seconds? And if you're watching this not at the time I'm live, just know that you have 30 seconds right now. You better run and get it. Anyway, we could hang out right here for a while. And again, that'd be fine. At that point, I think we do gear our way up to the move up. This red line up here is me just talking about this whole range right here. Something we'll talk about probably later is if we were to turn around, if we don't really just kick that door in and keep that trend alive, what this opens up is, if we put in a lower high right here, we could go all the way down and make a lower low, and we can play that channel down game. I don't think we have it. I think what we'll be talking about more is kind of like a lost year. You've heard about the lost decade. We're just sideways forever. As traders, we'll make a ton of money. As investors, do we just waste a lot of time? You can load up a lot on these dips, especially once you kind of confirm where things are at, where the lines have been drawn in the sand. It does take a lot of time off the year. I mean, everyone talks about the up and down. They don't talk about the left and right, which is a very important thing to bring up when we're talking about situations like this. There's always some catalyst. Who knows if the next tweet's going to come out. JK on the tariffs. We are going to apply them. We're bringing it right back down. Whenever you think you're comfortable and nicely settled in, it's going to change. Not too worried about that right now, but if we were starting to turn, the reason why this zone is a brighter yellow, these zones are the ones I'm worried about. Right now, this week, focused on these. If we pulled all the way back to this one, we're still in gear, probably putting in a higher low, and at that point, we'll go up and probably test higher highs. But if this breaks, I'm going to be probably decently short, at least the next zone down, trail it further, but also that's where I start the buying again. M-top or double top, some say. Oh, right here. If I'm calling out a double top, it's because it looks like an actual double top, not a staggered top. Not this one was built by union workers and this one was built by Chinese slaves. Like it needs to look like an actual double top. Nothing on here is what I don't see a double top anywhere on here. Maybe a smaller time frame, maybe a larger time frame. Hard to say. If I'm ever calling it out, I like to be exact with that. It's why you'll also never see me call out things like, oh, here's a Head and Shoulders. Called it. I don't know what people are looking at when they say stuff like that. If you guys ever hear me call out something very typical, very basic stuff like that, you'll just look at the chart and know that's exactly what I'm talking about without even a single drawing. That stall curve looks like a Boeing plane flight path. A third world Boeing plane. If it's in the United States, it'll probably be all right. Third world, GPS failure. It's not good. All right, S&P right now, expected move if you're following the ETF, we'll call it 579. 579 to 600. Do we just jack around this whole week? How wild would that be just to stay inside this range? If we were to go up one expected move, that actually should put us above that zone. Maybe just right to the top of it. That zone's gonna be right at the expected move. So the dangerous side of breaking that is, again, this is where market makers have everything priced in. This is where they have risk, everything delta hedge and accounted for. Getting below that, market makers need to do their job, get to their desk, rein that thing back in, or start delta hedging, which means selling positions and going short, and you vacuum that thing right on down to 568. Sucks to suck. Looking at the NASDAQ right here, really just hanging out again between these two zones. Sellers here, buyers here. NASDAQ did gap down. I guess here in 30 minutes we'll know what the Robinhood people are thinking. Head and Shoulders is a shampoo. Yes, it's a shampoo, not a chart pattern. If you're going to argue that, go Google it. There was 1 year For a month, Head & Shoulders made it to the 50-50 mark. Yeah. Everything else didn't even make that. It was like high 20s of it actually working out. Tesla breaking down a little bit early before the event. Taco time. Is that a Tacoma? We pretty early Taco Tuesday or what? Look at the NASDAQ. Honestly, I probably wouldn't really worry about the I guess breaking this blue zone, we're probably coming on down to the yellow. I would still buy this dip down here at the yellow. If we were trading futures and it would just came screaming down right to there, I'd catch that knife right there at that one. Where are my yellow dots? We are in full-blown bear territory if this zone down here breaks. At that point, we might be testing some things. AI is either failing or exceeding some things, and that's why we're down here. I've seen a lot of AI thumbnails. People starting to catch on to this, or what? Is AI going to be a thing now? I will be bullish AI, especially humanoid robots, the second they work at fast food. Get your order. I mean, we already have that Taco Bell that doesn't have any employees at all. It's all robotic. I haven't been there. Do they mess your order up? Or when you order a taco, does it come out a taco? And like, what if I said no tomatoes? Is that no tomatoes? At that point, bullish. The takeover is here. Hang on real quick before we get in. While we're on the subject of AI and something like that, this was kind of concerning. It was an interview on Diary of a CEO, and the guy says, as robots and AI takes over, somebody's going to question, do we need to help these people out that lost their job? If you lose your job right now, sucks to suck. Yeah, go figure it out. Go find another job. The government's not doing anything for you. So what changes all of a sudden when there's mass layoffs due to AI? Is it because it's not going to be mass layoffs all at once? It's going to be a trickle down kind or a build up kind of effect, and that was kind of scary. Everyone's talked about the universal basic income and all that, and this guy was like, why? Why do we even question that at all? If you lose your job right now, it doesn't matter. I'm like, oh, that would suck. The rich people just don't care, and they say, yeah, suck. That's why I'm the CEO and you're not. Whew. It's not going to be a good day at all. Anyway, back to the charts. Hopefully you learn how to trade before that happens. If you want to. I'm kind of biased to myself. I do all right. The Dow gapped down. Bringing back the Choco Taco, huh? I've never had one. Still at buy the dip on Tesla for this coming week. I'm going to go into Tesla, guys. I don't want to just give a quick answer to the comments. I want to leave you guys in suspense. Grandpa Dow. Ooh, faked us out last week. That was annoying. I got to say, of all of them, that looks the strongest. Kind of still has that pennant pattern. I would still say bullish on this one. As far as, let me give you my answer on the other ones. I still think bullish. I'll be bullish to buy the dip later in the zone. Not right now. If that makes sense. The Dow, I could probably just buy right now. Let's check out the Russell. See how Russ is doing. He's breaking down. Somebody get him a blue pill. Or is it Cialis, the weekend pill? Let's get him one of those right now for the week. Let's get him up. Russ is not doing all right. If Russ breaks that, he's going to need a new hip right around here. We are full Lieutenant Dan down here.